Nerd out here going over the champion stage pickums with our special guest here, Spray XD, head coach of ATK. What's up, Spray?
Doing good-ish.
You sure? You sure?
Well, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about
Okay,
it.
okay.
Don't worry about it.
So first off, to recap, we're gonna go over our legend stage pickums. I was able to get 5 out of the 9, and all you need is 5. So Navi, Heroic, Mouz, Outsiders, and Furia. My 3-0 was Team Spirit. I had a good feeling they had a chance to go through. They did go into the 1-0 game against Furia and threw a pretty big lead.
Yep.
So they had a good shot of going 3-0 for me. Big, they played pretty well with a stand-in, and that first game depended on who was gonna get 0-3, but it didn't really matter as we saw Sprout beat NIP. But FaZe, man, FaZe and Vitality, what the hell?
I don't know. My pickems are ruined.
I didn't believe in Vitality from the get-go, right?
I didn't believe.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah. Go 0-3.
Yeah, oh yeah. That FaZe 0-3 is the biggest shock. Okay.
I don't
yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
But yeah, let's take a look at your pickums real quick.
Put NIPS 3-0. Nice. Didn't happen, obviously. They went 0-3 and Big is an 0-3, so obviously those ones are kind of scuffed. Now, if FaZe did play as they were supposed to play, I probably had enough points, but FaZe bottomed out. Navi pretty comfortably, I'd say. Like the last couple of matches, they played pretty good. Spirit, very close match against Liquid, but I think that Liquid should have went through against the Outsiders, in the Outsiders match as well. So I think that I mean, they kind of choked there, in my opinion, and Outsiders played well. And then I had mouz, obviously, Vitality and Outsiders. Vitality also lost to Ants. I'd say it's an upset, unexpected loss. I think they should have comfortably beaten them or maybe even like qualified, but you can't bet against Zaibu. That's the problem.
Yeah, true. And Ents definitely had the last laugh there, seeing like they beat their former teammate Spinks. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. So you got 4 out of the 5, and you know a lot of people are saying gold looks better than diamond, right? Over to the champion stage where 8 teams qualified for the playoffs. We have Outsiders, Fnatic, mouz, Cloud9, Team Spirit, Heroic, Furia, and Navi. So let's just go ahead and start from the top and we work our way towards the bottom. All right.
Right.
So first matchup is Outsiders and Fnatic. I'll cover quickly about Outsiders and you can do Fnatic. All right.
Yeah.
So the storyline behind Outsiders, right? James taking on and leading a new roster with Buster and Yakinder, without Buster and Yakinder in place for Norbert and Fame, and they are able to get back to the champion stage, which is pretty very impressive. You know, everyone knows their play style, and it's still hard to stop it, right?
They've been also playing, like the new additions have been playing super well.
Yeah, definitely. Like we've seen a couple games where Fame just popped out. He's he's got almost like 30 bombs. Yeah. So that's the storyline with Outsiders. James leading the way with their play style, and they had a pretty comfortable way of getting here too. So what about Fnatic, awesome, man?
I didn't believe in them that much, but obviously they showed that they're like a force to be reckoned with, I'd say. But I think that they're still a very young team, and I think for the style that Outsiders play, they stand a bit less of a chance to beat them. Obviously, they're a bit more unpredictable. Their IGL is fairly new, so maybe like new tricks up the sleeve. They have showed very, very good results throughout the Challenger stage and the Legend stage, but I think that when it gets to the micro game, which is Outsiders game, basically, right? They're tiring you, making you uncomfortable, and just want to push places and stuff like that. And that's where the Fnatic inexperience, in my opinion, will kind of come through, and Outsiders will end on top.
Yeah, so this is Fnatic's last time they actually made the playoffs was when C9 won the last major. Yeah. So it's been quite a drought for them.
Boston 2018.
Yeah. Yeah. And then one shout out I want to give is Fashar. He definitely stepped up during this phase. Yeah.
Definitely.
And then
they've all been playing well, but I think that's just Outsiders, right? Their game is so tiring for a team that you just
So I think the way to beat Outsiders is if I was coaching Fnatic is like, you know, like for on their T side, you know, they wait out a bit just to make sure like you're not pushing, you're not doing anything crazy on your CT side, right? So mid round they're grouping up together, like mid to late round. You need to find a timing where you can get info, you know, like a push at like a mid round.
Yeah.
And then you get that info, and then you can, you know, properly rotate. So I know I know teams. I know it's easy. That's what I'm saying, right? It's easy to say, but yeah, it's hard to execute against them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you. Outsiders been playing really well, and they actually played Fnatic in the challenger stage, and they 2-0'd them.
Yeah.
And Fnatic picked our pass, and they got 15-0'd.
I remember that one. Yeah,
that was
16-1 final score, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I see Outsiders 2-0ing Fnatic here. So
yeah. That's that as well.
Next up is mouz Cloud9, and I'll let you take the way with mouz here.
Ooh, mouz. So I'd say that they're kind of the surprise of the tournament, in my opinion. Throughout the Legends and the Challenger stage, and maybe even the match against Cloud9 now. But I think that again, the move they made, bringing the young players right from the academy roster to the main roster, Cycron obviously done a really good job as a coach, and Dexter as an IGL, they both worked very well. I think that the system got them far, but again, they're still kind of like Fnatic. They're a young team, but the difference is obviously they have younger players than Fnatic has, as well as those younger players shoot a bit harder, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Obviously, like Stershin is Israeli, my boy is there, but we can't really like count on them taking on Cloud9, especially when we saw Cloud9 like shifting a gear after that challenger stage. So I'd say like mouz is pretty much that team that we should look for, right? I think in the future events, maybe even the future major, they have a really good opportunity to even go all the way because their development has only been upwards from now.
Yeah, definitely. mouz, I'm very shocked that they made it. You know, but I'm still not I'm not super surprised because individually they're really good. Like when I watch them, they're individually good. Like tactically and team wise, they don't impress me, but individually they're good. Right.
But they're playing to their strengths as a team.
Yeah.
That shows.
And then Daddy Dexter, oh my god, he popped off against Ents on map 3. Yeah. He saved my pick'em, so congrats to mouz moving. But Cloud9, holy cow, where did they come from going down 0-2 challengers, losing to the likes of Greyhound and almost getting knocked out 0-2 by Imperial, to 3-0ing the Legend stage, beating the likes of FaZe, Na'Vi, and then 2-0ing Heroic. Like that run.
Heroic also looked super good in this.
Yeah, that run is insane, and that's behind Nafny and Axel showing up.
Yeah,
like they didn't show 100%. Up in the challenger stage. It was a Shiro show. But Axel and Nafny, especially Nafny, individually wise, like holy cow, he came to play. And
Nafny stepped it up.
Yeah, they're definitely the favorites, like in current form, out of all these teams to make to be the champs, right?
Definitely, yeah.
And matchup wise against mouz, I definitely see them 2-0ing. I think mouz will pick Inferno, which is Cloud.
I'd say maybe a 2-1.
Yeah,
honestly, like depending on how mouz will show up, right?
Yeah, definitely. They could take Inferno because I'm like that's Cloud9's weakest map outside of you know permaban nuke.
And that's a good mouz map as well.
Yeah, and then if it goes to map 3, you know, Mirage, that's probably that's the decider in my opinion, and both teams are pretty good on it. You know, mouz could have a chance, but you know, I'm gonna take the favorites here, C9.
Maybe a surprise veto as well. Who knows?
Okay, we'll talk about that later here.
We'll talk about it later,
yeah. So we got next up Team Spirit and then Heroic. All right. So speaking of Heroic, do you want to tell us about Heroic since you said they had a good showing?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly wrote them off before the event. I thought that they're not as good with Yabi. Obviously, they showed me wrong. They proved me wrong. They played pretty damn well, like near perfect in my opinion. Even they only had that bump against Cloud9, which we already touched up on.
Yeah.
Other than that, they've had a really good run. They beat all the teams fairly comfortably as well, and showed that just like KDN is basically the second best IGL in Denmark, right after Kerrigan.
Yeah. And then on the opposite end, we had Team Spirit, you know, a very young team with the lead of Chopper. And Team Spirit, they were my 3-0 pick, so I definitely had a lot of belief in them to get 3-0, right? So Wonderful, is he 17? Well, he's really young, and he's playing.
Yeah, I think he's either just turned 18 or something.
What are they feeding these CIS oppers? Like, He's amazing. And then Patsy, Siren stepping up, like holy cow, Team Spirit is good.
Yeah, they
like,
are.
But when it comes to Heroic, man, I just like their playstyle way too much. Like,
yeah,
like I like the way Cadian calls too. It's very unorthodox. Like when I was watching the 100%. Liquid match against when they played Liquid on Overpass, like mid round, Cadian called his 2A players to come over, and they had 5 towards B. Like
yeah, they're just 5 men.
Like yeah, did you see like random? Like he does like random stuff like that. It's just like, man,
stacking.
no other teams do that. Like
yeah,
but
well,
yeah,
he reads the game very well.
But I'm gonna have Heroic taking this over Team Spirit. This was hard to pick. Honestly, I feel like Team Spirit could beat Heroic, but
they could.
Yeah,
they definitely could.
Yeah.
But I think that Heroic got this, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Don't listen to me, Gold Coiner here.
All right. So next up, Furia and Navi. I'll touch up on Navi, and then you could touch up on Furia. All right.
All right.
Oh man, Navi. They came.
First of all, let's talk about the match, though. The match. It's a grand final match that we have in the quarters.
Dude, it's insane. I'm so sad that we have this matchup right away.
Yeah, that actually.
Yeah.
I just genuinely think this match is gonna.
This could be the best match out of all these matches.
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%. You're right about the grand finale. Like.
Yeah.
But man, Navi, like they didn't impress me, but at the end of the day, they still made it. Yeah. Like they beat. Who did they beat first? Vitality, right? Vitality. But they had a lead.
No. They lost to Vitality.
No, they beat Vitality. They lost. Sure? Yeah. They lost to Cloud9, which they played the second game.
True.
They had not a big lead, but it's like 12-7. They threw that game, right? Yeah. They had a big lead against Liquid, 12-3. Yeah. They threw that. Like, so that going back to the Vitality game, they had a lead there, I think. No, or they came back. I don't know, but like, you don't know, they had a lead. They couldn't. They're not able to close out games right now, which could be a problem. But I hope they're able to fix that. But I just don't see Furia beating Navi. The only way I see so if Navi has been quote unquote practicing Vertigo, if they pull a phase and ban something else and play for it. Yeah. But I think Navi, like I hope Simple deserves another major. I hope
he deserves
this. Like seeing like FaZe getting kicked out, like and Vitality not in here, like this sets the ropes for Navi to win it. I mean, that's a storyline for Navi. Yeah.
FaZe not in.
Yeah.
Liquid not in.
Yeah, like Navi, this is yours. Like you have, like if you can play to your potential, easy run.
Yeah. 100%.
So tell me about Furia, man. How's like what's give me your sign that Furia is gonna beat Navi. Like what?
First of all, we have to talk about the crowd buff.
Okay.
Let's talk about that one. I mean, obviously, Brazilians love Counter-Strike, they love Navi, but it's Furia, right? It's their national team basically, and I think that Furia honestly like they have an edge because we saw like Caserado, we saw Yuri, we saw Art, we saw everyone feeding off that energy into a good way, right? Every match they had on stage, which basically all their matches, but every match they had on stage was actually like ranks above what they usually perform individually. Yeah. Just because they feed off of that energy. Yuri has been magnificent throughout the event. I think tactically, obviously, like no one knows what the hell they're doing, right? Like one round, it looks like they're calling a face a pug, but it works for them, and obviously they have his strats and whatever it is. So it's very hard to predict. With main thing for me, with the crowd behind Furia against Navi, which is a major thing if you think about it, because obviously it's a loud arena, right? It's a very loud arena. And if they can keep their individual performance up, I can very well see even a 2-0 against Navi.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can definitely see, like, they have to snowball in order to beat Navi, for sure.
Definitely.
For sure. And but I don't think it's going to happen. So we'll go over my picks first, and then we'll go over your picks after. Yeah. But I have Navi going through, right? I think Simple will show up and carry Navi through the environment that they're about to face.
See, I can see that happening. Yeah. I can actually see that happening.
He's gonna strive off of that. Now, my problem with Furia, it's not their fault, but they haven't played anybody good, right? Yeah, they beat who they had to beat, and it wasn't impressive, right? It's not their fault, right? So Ents, Spirit, and Big, right? It's not like the likes of like Navi or like
Vitality.
yeah, exactly, like those teams. Like, It's not their fault, but you know, they just haven't proved enough to me yet.
Okay, no, understandable.
Yeah. All right, so I'll finish this out. Actually, yeah, I'll finish this out here. So Outsiders against Cloud9. Man, they had like this is gonna be a slow game.
We're gonna fall asleep on the wheel.
Yeah. This is gonna be a slow game. But at the end of the day, I just think that the like how Cloud9 is playing, if they can continue how they're playing, it's hard to stop them, right? And I'm gonna have them go through. Okay. On the opposite end, Heroic against Na'Vi. Whenever these two teams play, it's always close. It's always close.
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah. But for me, you know, I still have my diamond in place here. I'm gonna play it really safe. You know, Na'Vi over Heroic.
All I'm gonna say, this major hasn't been safe. Don't play it safe.
Okay, but I'm still playing my odds. I know.
Okay.
And then Na'Vi against C9 Grand Finals, right? For my pickems here for the champion stage. I think that although C9 is playing really well, you know, I think Na'Vi is gonna clinch it, right?
Yes, match can't predict, but yeah, I'd agree so as well.
Yeah,
it's hard to predict
the grand finals.
CS match.
You know, I hope they're able. If Na'Vi get huge leads again, I hope they're able to close it. So,
yeah.
Locking in my picks: Na'Vi grand final, simple MVP. I hope Bit steps up. Na'Vi really need Bit to step up, and simple second major. So that's my pick'ems. Let's see yours.
Very, very different. Not different. I'd say the top part is similar, right? The top part
we don't have to talk about. Yeah,
the top part we don't have to talk about.
Talk to me about the bottom.
Bottom one, right? So Heroic, we both agreed on that one.
Yeah.
Furia versus Na'Vi. I already talked about why I think Furia can beat them, and you know what? Like, since let's talk about this. I can't really get a gold coin. No, I'm gonna risk my chances, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this major has been unpredictable, so I'm just gonna risk it, right? I'm gonna say like Furia. I want to see Furia in the final, right? That's number one. So I'm gonna give it to Furia. I'm gonna give that match to Furia, especially like because I said that they can use the crowd to their advantage. I think that they're gonna do that, and I think that simple. I can see simple carrying.
Yeah.
But I can see other people shutting off as well. So it's, you know, for me it's a 50-50. I'm just gonna take my chances with Furia. Now Furia versus Heroic, this match is actually an interesting one because Heroic have been playing well, but Furia style against Heroic style.
That's crazy.
That's
like W like across the map, like kind of. Yeah, it's
you
like
don't
what
know what's gonna happen.
Chaos.
That's literally chaos.
That's fireworks all over. Yeah.
I just think that art in situations, in chaotic situations against teams that play chaotic, they always come on top, right? Like most of the time they come on top at least. When there's a chaotic situation, they would win the round. That's what they're known for. So I would say, if it's Heroic and Furia, I'm pretty sure you will do the same. You would put Furia to go through.
I would go with Furia over Heroic. Yeah.
And then the final, I mean, Furia against Cloud9. That final would be crazy.
Honestly, Furia finals. Dude.
Furia finals will be crazy. The thing is, we're gonna talk about style clashes as well. I think Cloud9 turned it up individually, like everyone, and they're playing really well as a team, and they're a very good old machine, right? They're playing super well when they're good, and that's the thing. Like when they're on their top, I think that they can be even the best team in the world. When they're playing like they played like in the Legend stage, not the Challenger stage, because the Legend stage we saw a different Cloud9, right? If they are able to maintain that level, I think against Furia, that's a style that's just gonna shut them off, and I think that will be a pretty comfortable win for Cloud9. I think that the final will be a 2-0, and I don't think it will be that close as well.
Wow. All right, so you have C9 winning it, and then I have Na'Vi winning it. Now, if Team Liquid made it, you remember what you said in the last episode?
Yeah, I do. I still think so. Depending on the seeding, of course, but I still think, like, I'm looking at the list right now. Like, let's say they'll be instead of Spirit now, right? I think they can beat Heroic, right? I think they can beat Furia. I think they can beat Cloud9. I think that their style matches very well against top teams. But they had to play Spirit, which is not a top team, and that's when their methodical style kind of fails.
Yes, just let everybody know watching that Spray said that if if Liquid made playoffs, he would have had them through to the champions. So, All right, so that's our pick'ems for the champion stage. Let us know in the comments what you think, and make sure to follow Spray on Twitter. And I appreciate him taking the time to make this video with me. Good luck on your pick'ems.
Thank you. You
Peace.
too. Gold corner.